Today, I reckon I'm going to tell you a story of the meanest thing I did as a kid. Welcome back, everybody. It is Sunday, the 5th of March, 2023. It's 7:24 a.m. I feel good today. I woke up earlier. I'm trying to get up out of bed earlier to try and tackle the mornings. So I'm sort of weaning myself into it. I want to start getting up at 5 a.m., but I don't go to bed early enough for that yet. So I got to try and transition my life from nighttime to morning time, and sort of start going through that process. So that way at night I can come home and I can sort of relax and wind down and do all the stuff I need to do before I go to bed. And then in the morning I can get up and start smashing the day, because I don't usually start work till 10. If I get up at 5 a.m., that gives me time to work out, plan my day, eat my meals, do whatever I got to do. And then I go to work, I do my thing, and then I can come home and the afternoon can be dedicated just to studying and whatnot. So, but we'll see how we go, and you'll probably hear updates as I go with that. But I've decided today, sorry, I got like a really husky throat this morning. I've decided today I'm going to tell a story about possibly one of the meanest things that I've ever done. And it's a learning lesson, obviously. So it weighs on me, but it's like a lesson for think before you act, right? So when I was a kid, I would have been in year 5, maybe. I think it was year 5, maybe the beginning of year 6. Our school took our class on a camp, and school camps. We went to a place, Camp Cooba, Cooba, somewhere in New South Wales. Basically, it was like a old hotel. There was you probably had 30 rooms, maybe 50 rooms. I don't even think it was an old hotel. I think it was an existing hotel, but they had a bunch of like activities in the paddocks around it. So there was like an army mud crawl sort of, get dirty, get messy. There was like a dirt track where you could get out on like those, they called them buggies, but they were like those Polaris things. But they were like for kids. There was horse riding. I think there was a flying fox. There was, like a jungle track, whatever. You got to like climb up in the canopies, and it's like a big sort of kids playground, but it's like for adventurers, Anyway, it was a really cool camp, and we went. I remember on the drive there, we're on the coach bus, and those old coaches, how they had that big block TV in the very front, and we watched on the way there. We watched 101 Dalmatians, and on the way back, we ended up watching, I think it was Little Rascals. I remember it being something that I've never seen before. Anyway, while we're on this camp, I've mentioned on this podcast before that I used to hang out with girls in primary school. I got along with girls a lot better. I never really hung out with any boys. I wasn't really friends with any boys. I was, but I was on like a nickname basis with boys, but like at lunchtime and stuff, I wasn't picked to play sport or anything like that, and that's all they did. So I wanted to sit around and talk and ponder. And at the time, there was a mix of like, you either go and play sports like basketball or soccer or footy or whatever, or you go and play imaginary Pokemon with the fucking weirdos. And I wasn't doing either of those things, so I just hang out with girls. Anyway, on this camp, growing up, I should preface this. Growing up, I had a best friend. I'm not going to say her name on here, but we went to like preschool, like preschool, like babies being looked after in cribs, school together. And in fact, there's a few people that I know that we went to. Actually, there's a girl called Liv Hewson. She's an actress now. I'm just gonna say actor. She was in the show Santa Clarita Diet alongside Drew Barrymore. She's currently doing a show called Yellow Jackets. I haven't seen any of it, but I see her promos and stuff, which is really cool. She was also in the same play center, same daycare center as we were at the time. So, just a fun fact. Anyway, I grew up with this girl, And we were like really close friends. She was the only girl I ever had over for a sleepover when I was younger. She ended up leaving like early because she felt sick or something like that. I think she was just nervous, but she came over and hung out. Like, we were besties, mate. And we're at this camp, and I think it's when, we're at that age where boys and girls start to notice each other, and the influence of like the new high school kids, like year 7 and 8s. Some of those are like brothers or sisters for the kids that I was growing up with. Like, they were the younger sibling, obviously. So, anyway, what happened was I remember hanging out with one of the guys like of my room, and I used to hustle. So I all the TVs in those rooms, all the kids in my school had like better TVs. They had like flat screens as they started coming out and stuff, and we didn't have one. I still had these block TVs, and so they couldn't tune the TVs, and so I was charging like $1 a room. And I made like $15. I kept going around to different rooms and just tuning the TV and programming the settings, and then I spent all the money on like the vending machine, grabbing like little chockies and stuff for the boys in the room. Anyway, one of the boys on like maybe the last day or the second last day of camp, we were like playing, truth or dare or whatever. We're just having a bit of fun, and I said dare, and he said, I dare you to ask this chick out. Now, I had no intention of dating this girl. I'd thought about it before, but I'm also fucking 11. You know what I mean? And so I was like, oh yeah, that's easy. She'll understand this prank. I'm just going to ask her. And so, with all the confidence you could have as a young boy,